Hi folks, good afternoon. Welcome to STEMMY Conversations. STEMMY Conversation is a podcast where we discuss all careers, STEM and ICT. My name is Bradley Dunmore. I'm the founder of STEMMY Conversations. Also, I have Ms. Kenita Roberts here. She is one of the co-founders.
Hello.
And today we have a lovely guest. We have Ms. Kendra Warner. She is a 24-year-old medical technologist and a recent graduate from the University of Guyana. You can follow us on our social media pages, that is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at STEMMY.conversations. So, hello, Kendra. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. I'm recovering from the flu.
Okay, that's good to hear you're recovering. So Kendra, you're a medical technologist. Kindly give us a description, or what is it exactly that you do as a medical technologist?
Well, as a medical technologist, my main role is to ensure that all bodily fluids collected from patients are tested to identify pathogens or values that may be deemed critical that would aid in diagnosis of the patient. That's basically what my job is. So we collect your blood, your stool, your urine, whatever it is that you have, and we test it, and we present these reports to your doctors so that they could readily identify what the problem is and get you treated as quickly as possible.
Okay, you mentioned the word pathogen. What is a pathogen?
Okay, y'all. Y'all don't do this to me.
Putting it in
a
test.
pathogen is like it sounds like a test, I finished UG. I was like, Minga, go back to these things. Now it's here to bite me. But a pathogen is like any external not only microorganism, but any external anything that may enter your body and may cause it harm or may change the way the body reacts.
Okay, thank you. How is your career STEM or ICT integrated? Like, how do they fit in?
Well, to be very honest, medical technology is not just about what I just said, what I give as my job description. Yeah. That's just my job description at the current moment. But medical technology is a very branched field. You hold the title of a medical technologist when you obtain your degree. But when you go on to further your studies, get your master's and PhDs, there are specific things that you could focus on. You could become a biomedical engineer, which means you fix the machines that are in the laboratory. You could become a quality manager, which means that, you basically ensure that the laboratory is up to standard and it reaches all the requirements. Or you could have a simple career as not simple, but you could be a microbiologist or a virologist or whatever it is that you want to be within the field of medical technology. So medical technology and ICT are closely related, and this also depends on the hospital that you work at, because ICT and medtech are very, very closely related. And this is because on a day-to-day basis at the hospital, you need to have specific softwares in which you would store your patient data, where you would access like previous medical records, how you would input the data that you test, how you would send off this data, how you would save medical records, and all of this is ICT related because, databases just don't come by themselves. And a hospital or all hospitals wouldn't have the same, software or the same database that they would use. So when you go to any health center around the country, you would notice that they have different ways in which they would present their reports to you when you get a test done, or different information that they would ask for when you go there. So all of this, from reception to collecting your report, all of that falls on the ICT. The different stages falls on the ICT. And to be very honest, they teach you this process as a course in medical technology. Like when your patient first comes in, how you would handle that. So when you give the patient the result, or when the doctor collects the report, that's the last stage of our job.
Okay, so I know you mentioned UG. So can you lay it out for our viewers? What are some of the requirements to pursue the career that you have?
Well, when I started UG, I think back in 2016, I think it was, our program wasn't quite accredited. So the requirements at that time was, I think, 3 science subjects within grade 1 to 3 ranges, maths and English. Now the program has been changed so that we could reach that international standard. So the requirements are a little more precise. You need more than, I think you need biology, chemistry, physics, and maths and English, along with some CAPE. They're asking for you to do like A levels as well now, because the program was kind of challenging for persons who would just leave high school and didn't have, like, some persons didn't have a chemistry background or they didn't have a physics background. But the course is very demanding. You need to know chemistry and physics. So they had to up that in order for everybody to, be up to par at that time. So yeah, that's basically the requirements to join the program.
Okay, thank you for that information.
Thank you.
So could you give us some insights into your journey as a medical technologist? Like
Well,
to where you are today.
well, how do I say it? There were many happy moments and there were many teary moments. But my journey was very, I don't know, inspirational to me. When I started medical technology, I was working. I got a job like 2 months into started my degree. And the place that I was working at, they helped me to, become the person I am today. I had a lot of experience. I volunteered a lot. So I traveled into the regions, giving, healthcare to persons, rendering my services to persons. And while doing that, I was still getting this degree. And that was challenging for me because, you're working, classes is day, work is day, and it was so challenging for me. But the journey is a beautiful one. Like I said, whatever you learn during the medical technology career, you take with you. It's like a day-to-day thing. I remember when I first started learning about different bacteria and stuff, bacteria and all that, I came home and I was like telling my family, like, we should implement this and implement that, change up the way we do certain things, because the more you learn, the more you see things differently. And it's like you walking down the road and you thinking about how much pathogens could be on a person, or this thing that might be flying around here probably infected with something. And you think about it. I stopped eating greens like lettuce on food from people because I'm not sure if they wash it properly, and I do not want to get E. coli. So when I buy food, they please don't give me the lettuce or the garden salad. Not my thing. So stuff like that, it makes you paranoid, but it also helps you along the way. So you know, you could teach persons and tell them different things, and that's the experience. That was the experience of me. And whatever I learned, I try to you know, share it with persons, especially like um sexually related, like sexual health and reproductive rights and stuff like that. I would come and tell people like what are the STDs they could get and how to protect themselves and what tests they could do and where they could go to get these tests and stuff like that. That was contribution back to the public.
Okay, a little sidetrack because I'm actually interested. How do we wash a lettuce properly?
So you take it leaf by leaf. You know, it comes in that bundle.
Yeah.
But you take it off, and it's important to use a sponge because lettuce is one of those leafy vegetables that grow in the ground, and a lot of people like to use animal feces to mold it up. And animal feces contain a lot of bacteria that are harmful to us. E. coli is one of them that lives there. And when E. coli gets into our system, it causes a bloody diarrhea. So diarrhea could kill you. So you find like sometimes you see a lettuce and it has like black spots and stuff like that. It probably wasn't washed properly. So it's important to wash every leaf front and back using a sponge. And that's the best way you could do it.
Okay, thank you. Bradley?
So, what advice would you give to young persons who may want to pursue medical technology?
It's a lovely field. It's a very interested field. But when you get to the University of Guyana, reading is gonna be your best friend. You need to read. Like my lecturers always used to tell me, this is not secondary school, we're not spoon feeding you. So most of the things you had to like read for yourself, because trust me, it's coming in the exam even though they didn't teach it. So but it's a very, very beautiful field, and to know that you'll be helping save a life at the end of the day. I mean, they don't recognize us, but your job is very important. The hospital cannot function without a laboratory, so it cannot function without a medical technologist.
Okay. I have one other question, right?
Sure.
The difference between a medical laboratory technician and a medical technologist. I know the word work in the lab, but what's the difference?
Okay, so a technologist has more knowledge about what is going on. A technician is also like a laboratory aide. So they basically know how to like operate certain machines and put through certain tests, but the technologist would better able to understand like, okay, this person is doing a kidney function test, and we see that some of the ranges are off. And we now have to link that with probably like clinical history that was provided by the doctor. And we could tell the doctor, well, listen, this is what we found, and probably this is how you should, you know, move forward with the treatment. To be very honest, in many hospitals, you find like a lot of medical technologists would just zip it and don't say anything, because doctors feel like we're just button pushers. Like the machines are there and all we do is the machine does the work for us. But behind the scenes, we have to know why this machine is working like this. Why is this sample the way it is? Why is the result like this? So that you could better, get the results for the patient, and it will help you treat patient. Because sometimes they don't even know what they be doing. I just want to tell some of them they don't know what they be doing, but that's what our job is. Our job is very, very, very important. So I big up medtech all the way.
As you should, as you should. I
Yes.
noticed there are a lot of persons who are getting into medical technology, and I always thought it was a cool field, but
Mhm.
I didn't know like specifically what it dealt with. So thank you for, highlighting that. And hopefully, we inspire some more of our audience to consider medical technology because we need it.
Yes, yes, we do.
Yes, that's true. For me, I once signed up at Duty to do medical technology, and I dislike crowded classrooms. And
Oh,
there was this woman at UG, and she said that the classrooms are crowded, so don't. And then I was just like, no, I wouldn't do it anymore. But
oh my.
it really is an important field, an integral field in today's society, because in as much as we have doctors doing work or nurses, the lab technicians or the lab technologists needs to be there to be
Mm-hmm.
able to analyze the blood or whatever to give you a proper result or to let you know, well, this is happening in your body. You might not know, but they would know based on what they see, based on what the results give off.
Exactly, exactly.
So
And medical technologists makes the best doctors, obviously.
that's good. All right. So thank you, Kendra, for sharing your wealth of knowledge. I hope that your story inspires some young person, even me, to go back and do medical technology. Because, like I said, they are really important people,
Yes.
especially
Thank
in
you
this
so much.
pandemic. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah.
I just
Thank you
like
so
to
much for having me. Wonderful share.
Thank you. So I'd just like to remind our audience to tune in to our social platforms. We have Anchor, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at STEMMY Conversations. We're easy to find, very catchy. And thank you once again, Kendra, for spending this time with us.